These are just opinions, so don't take it personally. Just because we don't like it, you can still be happy. Enjoy what you like, you're an adult. Yeah. BWN Productions, maskless props and costume work. If you want a monster name, contact BWN Productions. Fast custom shirts, hundreds of t-shirts, all at reasonable prices. If you need custom work, contact Fast Custom Shirts. Grab a cold one and get ready for the show. It's intended for mature audiences because we kid and joke. Boy God is here and so is Tom and Joe.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of this. So, we didn't get to talk about it because you didn't really get to hear it. But what do you think of that intro, Jay or Joe?
It's pretty good, Tom. Pretty good. You know, it reminds me of a lot of the pop girl bands that I used to listen to back in I don't know, 2022 maybe.
Damn, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right. Yeah. I was trying to make a spooktacular intro because we do a lot of horror stuff on this podcast. I did one for the Halloween episode, but we'll get to that. And it's not as good as that shit just was. But yeah, how the generator spat that kind of music out to me, I have no idea, but it was catchy as hell. So I decided to roll with it.
All right.
So yeah, that was that, and I've been Tom and Joe all fucking day, and I'm sure it'll infect everybody else's brains as well.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So you have a week or what?
Man, I can't really remember much this week. Just went to work, tried to knock shit out. The weather is not a lot better, so it's easier to get stuff done. But it would have been cool if I had more stuff to get done. Friday, some work came in, so this coming week looks a little better. You know, it's just I don't know, the days kind of roll into each other when you don't have much to do. You know, I'm just trying to stay productive, I guess, you know, and got a lot of shit coming up. There's a lot of shows in the next couple of weeks. Either Juan's gonna be working or I'm gonna be working. So just trying to prep for that and take stuff that I hope people will want to buy to fill my coffers a little, you know, so I can keep the bills paid. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, as you know, even you know, if you work, you do the same thing every day. All the days kind of blend together anyways. So damned if you do, damned if you don't type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But your week was exciting, wasn't it?
Started off fucking bullshit, but I mean, we already recorded since then, since we got on that late in the week. And then it was just working. It's this, man, you know, I hate just coming on here and bitching and shit. I don't really like to think of it as bitching. Maybe it's just getting information and knowledge out there for anybody who wants to pick it up. I don't know. It probably is bitching. But you know, when you're just one dude and you have to do everything, like it takes a toll on shit. Like, man, I can't spend as much time on sculptures if I want to because, hey, they only paid this much and sure, it's a lot of money. But when you got this stuff coming in and you paint it, and you got to get everything shipped out and pour this stuff. It just takes time away from everything. So just a little bit of everything suffers. And it's just like, man, if I had a couple extra days to do this or do that, whatever it may be, but I fucking work a lot as it is, and being stretched thin, old Stretcho, Mr. Fantastic, they call him.
You do.
Yeah. It's just, I'm feeling it. I'm really starting to feel it. Can you die of a heart attack after the 20th year anniversary?
Yeah, I'll tell you this, man. During the week, I went to sleep a lot earlier than I usually do. Usually, like Lisa will go to bed at like 12, or not 12, fuck, no, at like 10. So that's when I can throw on one of my garbage movies and watch that, or something that might be like, I know she's not going to like this, so I'll throw it on. But no, man, I went to bed like at 10:30 or so, like each night. So didn't watch a whole lot. I've got like 3 books that I'm close to reading, only like 2 chapters each on them, and normally I'll stay up, just so I can knock out that book or whatever. Just not feeling it this week. Not really feeling the entertainments, which kind of suck because that's what we do on this show. We talk about our entertainment. And unfortunately, I don't have many to talk about.
Well, it's all right, Joe. I watched quite a few. Most of it bullshit, but we can fill up some time with that.
Yeah.
First of all, let's get down to a little business, if you will, Joe. So about an hour or so before we started this, I get an email from old StreamYard. That's the streaming service we use to record the show and edit the little clips and shit. And it said, hey, we're changing formats and having all these different price plans and stuff, and you'll automatically be enrolled next billing cycle into your equivalent plan. I said, oh yeah, I mean that's fine. Are we missing anything? No, looks like all the features are still there, and nothing was really added. I guess we can record in a DVD quality or maybe 4K quality now, but probably won't because YouTube, we just still have standard definition on there. And I'm just like, all right, so how is this going to affect me? Oh, the price is almost double is what it was a month. So instead of 25, it's $45 now, which I'm an independent artist, which means I don't have money. So I'm gonna keep it going through the end of the year for sure, so we can at least finish that out. But I'll look into this if anybody has any ideas, because I definitely don't want to charge people for this. But I'll look into streaming on YouTube. I don't know how that works and how I would get Joe on there. But we can also do Zoom, which is what a lot of people do. But that'll just be more work for me, because then I'll have to import that long ass video file into a video editing program and then cut shit out like that. It's just really convenient to do it on what's it called? StreamYard, because it's all linear. But yeah, that threw a monkey wrench and shit, especially after we got all this internet and figured out the computer situation. It's just like, geez Louise. So if you guys enjoy this show and you would like us to continue, let it be known. Otherwise, thank you. Appreciate you guys listening, and we have one more best of the year list to go.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, Tom does all the work on this. I don't do shit. I just come on here, on Sundays. Still, and for me, I'd rather not, because I was asleep until like 5 minutes before we started recording. Because I did a bit of drinking today. It's I decided I would start watching football again. Get into it the way I used to, and that requires a lot of drinking. And so I was drinking up until, I don't know, 7, 8 o'clock. Then I decided, well, I better get some sleep before I have to talk about Dune 2 and whatever else we're talking about, Raptor, things like that. So, yeah, I mean, so I don't know how much work is involved. I just know I wouldn't want to do it.
But I mean, you say you don't do a lot, but I do appreciate you coming on here and shooting the back and forth, because if you weren't here, I definitely wouldn't be doing this. And every time like I would do a solo Blu-ray review or anything, I'd be like, oh man, I feel like the biggest fucking dork ever. This is some fucking nerd shit, and what the hell am I doing with my life? So yeah, you say you don't do a lot, but it helps me for sure.
Uh,
Excuse me, but yeah, that's just something we'll have to figure out, or it's been great. Thanks everybody, but yeah, it's $45 a month for that's a lot. So I will try and figure something out, and if any of you out there have suggestions, let me know. Sorry, I thought you were going to say something. I'm trying to grab a beer.
Like I said, I watched 2 movies. Roop in the comments is asking if I'm drinking my gay beers. No. We went to, yes, I've got a bunch of stuff like that. I got like a 6-pack of pumpkin beers, variety. We went over to Total Wine and I grabbed a bunch, but as I said, I had quite a bit to drink earlier, and my palate is not, these things are, some of them are only $3, but some of them are $6, $7, and I'd like to taste them, as I'm knocking them back to see, hey, this kind of good, this kind of sucks, but no, I'm gonna wait until next week, and I'll drink those then when we record that.
Nice. Good call, Joe. Good call.
Yeah.
Me, I'm just drinking them.
Yeah, I got one with a Frankenstein on it, and the rest have a bunch, just pumpkin shit. The rest are all pumpkin shits.
I mean, some of the pumpkin ones are good. You just got to make sure it's not the ones that say pumpkin spice. You
Yeah,
got to look for like the pumpkin ales that don't say anything about spice, because those are the ones that are brewed with actual pumpkins.
yeah,
You'll
and
know because it'll taste a little sour.
plenty of nutmeg.
Damn. They're here to come movie reviews in your ear. That was a line in there, Joe. Oh, fuck. Well, let's get this shit out of the way, Joe.
Let's do it, Tom. What'd you watch?
I took Lori to the movies yesterday.
Oh, did you? There's a lot of, good dramas out there right now. Like there's a Ronald Reagan biopic. Is that what y'all went to go see, Tom?
It's not. I wanted to go see the movie where Moesha fights an old white lady.
Hmm?
Unfortunately, it was Lori's turn to pick the movie, but that's okay. So went to the old Cinemaplex and saw Beetlejuice.
Oh.
And before I went into the theater, Lori was getting her concessions or whatever. And I said, you know what? I should probably get some fucking beers.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a Beetlejuice fan.
You're not a woman.
Yeah. Like, when was it? I guess last year around Halloween, we talked about the first Beetlejuice. I rewatched it with Lori, and it just came off as a chick flick to me.
Mm-hmm.
All that singing and dancing shit. I don't like Tim Burton. I mean, when I was a kid, I can appreciate Nightmare Before Christmas. Not really a Tim Burton movie, even though everyone says it is.
Harry Stelnick.
You know, it has all the stop motion and shit, and some of the creatures are cool, but they're all sing-songy shit, and it's really a Christmas movie, even though those people try and tell you it's a Halloween movie. Don't care for his Batman shit. I watch the Pee-wee TV show. Don't give a fuck about the movie. I should love Sleepy Hollow. Fucking pumpkin-headed fuck riding around. That sucked. Don't care for his shit, and him still living that goth lifestyle or dressing like a fucking goofy art school kid's weird, but to each their own, and we'll get into that because he's kind of mirrored in this movie. So Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, it's the Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, wherefore art thou, Beetlejuice? It's the sequel to Beetlejuice. Ah, shit. So, what the hell happens? Lydia, she's in present day now. So, she's an old broad, you see. But she's still dressing like this goofy goth girl 40 some odd years later, or however it's been. So, that's kind of embarrassing. Like, oh shit, she's living the gimmick, huh? All right. And she has this talk show where she talks to people who have been haunted or something. And the guy who runs the show's her boyfriend, and he's just kind of a scummy fuck. And Lydia starts seeing flashes of Beetlejuice all over the place. And her daughter, Jenna Ortega, she's like at a boarding school or some shit. She thinks her mom's like full of shit and a nut, can't see ghosts, all this shit. And then which is weird, I know she's like the hot new actress or whatever, so they're gonna put her in everything. And I looked up how old she was. It was 21 or 22. But a couple years ago, she was in that Ty West movie where she was like a porno actress or some shit.
Yeah.
So I can't buy her as this 14-year-old girl riding her fucking bike around. It's like once you do some shit like that, it's like I'm sorry, you may look like young or whatever, but I can't buy you as this fucking high school kid. So I mean that was kind of weird the whole time. And the family all meets together. Fucking Kevin McAllister's mom's there, and fucking there's like, oh, what happened? Oh, fucking whoever Jeffrey Jones was, he was eaten by a shark. And then they show like claymation of Jeffrey Jones getting eaten by a shark. And it's like, all right, either have the guy in the movie or don't have the guy in the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he's still in the movie and he's a character in the movie. Like it's a guy because oh, they walk around in the afterlife, how they died, and he like has a chunk missing out of him and he's just walking around. And I mean, that was like a gore effect. It's all bones and meat and shit shooting out blood. There was a decent amount of blood in this movie and some kind of like violent shit that I was surprised that it was PG-13. But oh, it's Beetlejuice, so whatever shit the MPA does in their goofy ratings or whatever. But haven't said much about Beetlejuice yet because he's not really in it. There's like a subplot where his first wife is coming back to get him, but that goes nowhere. That could have been cut the fuck out. Like all through the movie, you kind of cut back to her. She sucks the souls out of people and they kind of turn into like little deflated nutsack things. But at the end, she's defeated so easily. Like, could have just took that shit completely out of the fucking movie. And old Jen Ortega, whatever her name was, like Asterisk or Astrid or something fucking dumb in the movie.
A goth girl name that they would give her, even though it wasn't, but they've adapted it now to where it's like or adopted it into that culture, I suppose.
Culture. Pff, we'll get to that. So anyways, like there's a couple cool things I like the sweeping shot with the miniatures and shit. That's cool. Like all the creature stuff and the effects. I appreciated that, but when you don't give a fuck about the rest of the movie, who cares? It's like Primevals, where it was like, yeah, the stop motion and the creatures were cool, but the movie kind of sucks, so who gives a fuck? Anyways, there was like a shot where old Jenna's like riding her bike and you see people setting up for Halloween and it just looks fall and everything. Like that shit looked cool. Kind of looked like a 90s independent movie or some shit. I like that, so I'll give it that. But then she crashes into a fucking tree, looks up. There's some fucking goofy kid up there, like, oh, hey, I'm fucking, I don't know, come over for Halloween or some shit. She does. He's a fucking ghost. She inherited her mom's powers. He tricks her into going to the underworld and switching her life for his so he can go and be a real boy again. But he was a serial killer, and who cares? Nothing seems consequential. There's a fucking baby Beetlejuice in here because, of course, why wouldn't they sell your little fucking baby Beetlejuice dolls? Everything just looked and felt cheaper. I'm sure if you've seen the fucking trailers or something, like Beetlejuice's makeup looks kind of off, looks a little cheap. Yeah, I don't know. Like I didn't give a fuck. This didn't have like the chick flick feel of the first one, so I liked it a little more, but who cares? William Defoe's in it or Willem, whatever his goofy ass name is. He was in it and he has like a makeup where half of his face is ripped off and it's like in layers, so you see the muscle, the bone, and the brain, but it's like all clean. He supposedly got his head blown off by a grenade, but it's like all clean, anatomically correct shit, and it's not like all mushed up and gory, like a grenade blowing off or something. And then he has the goofy zygomatics that stick out and his cheeks sink in and shit. But since when you make a makeup and you got to build up to take shit away, 'cause I mean, with makeup, you're adding on. You can't fucking tear pieces of their face away to actually do it. So, like, all his unique fucking skeletal structure and shit that makes him is like all covered up and it just looks goofy, but I'm sure most people won't notice that shit. Uh this movie doesn't have the edge the first one did, like fucking Beetlejuice running around being a sex criminal and shit.
Right.
That's not in here. The song is shit. Like they do another song at the end and it's somebody left a cake out in the rain. And the whole time I was thinking of the fucking Jurassic Park Weird Al song because I don't know this stupid fucking version they're singing. I just know the Weird Al parody. Lori liked it. She said that fucking singing part was the only thing she didn't like, but yeah, I'm glad she liked. I just don't give a fuck. Like, it's cool if you like Beetlejuice and shit, but I mean, I just don't care.
Yeah. We had a chance to go see it 2 weeks ago for a sneak preview thing, but we're busy. I thought Lisa would want to go see it, and she was busy, so fuck it. And it's like I'm like, okay, good, because like you, I really had no desire to go see it. The first movie, it is what it is. It's of its time, but it was never one of these things that I, like, oh man, that's that damn Beetlejuice, haha, and oh, sandworms. I'd already seen Dune, and I'll talk about Dune 2 later, but yeah, there's nothing from that first one that really hooked me. It's like it had maybe some cool things where he's waiting for to see whoever. I don't even remember a lot of the plot line other than he's trying to sleep with this teenage girl. That's my takeaway from the first one. And Winona Ryder, okay, she was huge when I was in high school. And yeah, I thought she was real attractive then. She's not anymore. She did not grow up and keep these Hollywood looks or anything of distinction. She just looks like a regular lady. She looks like somebody that, if I was single, I could bang, that I would meet at a convention or something, and then I would feel bad because she's going to be all depressed and everything because I really don't like her. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a lot of appeal towards her, and I think that appeal has to do with nostalgia, with a lot of the shit that we talk about. People can't like look at it with modern day eyes and say, you know what, this is not as good. She's not as attractive as I want to. Hey, cool. Hold on to your memories, like like the song said, like what you like. But wake up a little too.
Yeah, I mean, just to wrap the movie up, the creatures and shit, some of it's cool. It looked a lot cheaper. They threw just everything they could at it and they didn't need to. And the stakes just felt inconsequential. I didn't think anybody was ever in any fucking danger. And like I said, the first one had a little bit of an edge to it. This one does not at all, except for, having a little more blood and shit like that. But I mean, dude, there was some CGI. I don't know how to fucking speak. Where like Beetlejuice's mouth opens, like, oh, I seen a hot lady, and whoa, dude, it looked only slightly better than The Mask. And I can say that because I just rewatched that shit last week. Uh yeah, if you dig it, cool. I mean, what the fuck ever. Who gives a shit what the fuck I say? If you like it and it makes you happy, fucking great. I'm not gonna say, ooh, I might make a joke about it, but whew, people love their Beetlejuice and get very angry if you don't like it.
Yeah, I got a goofy ass dog behind me, so I'm not Mr. Cool or anything. But yeah, this movie just never did it for me, and I thought that claymation in those in the original movie, I thought that looked like garbage, and uh Beetlejuice is barely in it. I remember that, which I'm okay with that. Usually, like, he's your monster, I guess. And in a monster movie, I don't think you should, expose your monster right away or whatever. So I guess they were kind of doing that. But in a sequel, you already know, the Beetlejuice, so he should be in it throughout, right?
I mean, the fucking story they picked was just fucking dumb, too. Like, there's two bad guys in it, and none of them are a threat, and it does nothing really matters. Like, I didn't feel anything was, oh no, this is gonna. There were a bunch of pumpkins in it and jack-o'-lanterns, so that was cool. I mean, they set it on Halloween. There's not a whole lot of Halloween shit. I guess they just did that to do it, but who gives a fuck?
Not you.
No, dude. If I can say that last Mortal Kombat movie sucked a dick, you can say fucking Beetlejuice ain't that great. I just liked it because I saw it as a kid.
Yeah, and you're looking at a guy that reads the shit out of comics. I'm a big ass comic nerd, but I hate the comic book movies. They don't, I see through it as something different, but I don't know. Like what you like.
Ah, shit. Well, Joe, I'm going to talk about another one. Speaking about like what you like. Well, I saw this movie called, what I keep wanting to say Off Road. It was called Off Ramp. This is this is fucking lame.
I saw your post, so I saw the poster from this, and yeah, this is not something I would want to watch. But, you know, as you said, speaking of culture and everything, and where our bread is buttered, I guess you would say, or whatever, or where yours is.
No, I would, if like they portrayed Zooligans, how they portrayed Juggalos in this movie, I might be pissed off. Like, I was a little offended watching this movie because it's just stereotypes.
All right, well, tell them what it's about and all that, and me too, because I
All
don't.
right, yeah. So this movie, The Off Ramp, it's about a couple juggalos. One is just recently released from prison, and we'll find out why he was in prison later. And they're just talking stereotypical juggalo shit. And fuck, dude, I was just cringing and shaking my head the whole fucking time. Uh Kinda got the feeling of like SLC Punk meets Freeway 2, maybe something like that, kind of mixed with like a 90s indie movie in there. Maybe this is trying to be like some art house deep movie, and it's just fucking cornball shit. So these guys are just like, we gonna go to the. It's not even how they fucking. I can't even do it. I'd be so fucking. Hey, we gotta go to the gathering and look at buttholes and shit. You know what I'm saying, wicked clown boy, and just it's even I can't do it because I fucking don't want to, and just fucking embarrass myself and my family. But so God damn, this shit fucking sucks. Everybody would say, I know, like, I'm not really talking about the movie because his shit is just fucking lame. So it's about them going on a road trip to fucking the gathering. I guess they're going from Louisiana to the fucking Ohio, and they stop somewhere, these two friends, to get something to eat. One of them gets a call. It's like, hey, they had a dropout at the gathering, so we're gonna be able to fucking do a set there. And the other guy's just like, what? You're embarrassed to get in front of people and rap and all this shit. So the fucking guy just stands on a table in the middle of the restaurant, starts fucking rapping. Not well. Not well at all. And his buddy's like, oh, fuck yeah. That was dope, dog. Whoop, whoop. And it wasn't. And they get kicked the fuck out. And the guy's just like, fuck you, man. I was spitting mad flavor, dog. Blah, 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 blah. And the other guy's just like, hey, man, the food was delicious. Thank you. And that guy who was being nice, like, bumps into this fucking other guy, spills his milkshake and shit all over his shirt. And they get into an altercation. Turns out that guy is a cop or the sheriff. And he's just like, oh, you gonna wish you didn't cross me. Oh, god damn, this fucking shit sucks. So, they get pulled over. They get searched. They have a bunch of drugs. The fucking screwy one, they're both screwy. The screwier one has like a fucking water gun full of LSD. So he chokes the cop out, fucking squirts acid in his mouth, and they haul ass to another juggalo friend they have who recently, or what is it? Not recently, fucking conveniently lives very close, and he happens to own a fucking car lot or some shit. But they're not cool because those guys got them banned from the gathering for life. And he's a fucking crippled dude who has some weird sex shit with his sister. He milks her to try and fucking, you know, drink the milk and get his fucking legs working again or some shit. She just had a baby who fucking died young. So they're doing a fucking ritual to try and bring this baby back that involves drinking her blood, chopping her fucking fingers off. Oh my fuck. It before that, the guy's sister, his name's Scarecrow. They go and talk to her and, you know, get to know her because they're going to stay for the ritual. And it turns out the fucking one dude with all the drugs, he's actually trans. And fucking old boy went to jail for knocking the fuck out of some guy for making jokes about his buddy being trans. And that was really like his friend's sister. And before his friend died, said, "Hey, look after my sibling." Plot twist, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Like, he lifts up his shirt, shows the fucking scars where all the titty meat got ripped out of, and then fucking him and the fucking chicks start having sex, and they say whoop whoop in between when they're about to come. It's fucking terrific. If it doesn't win an Oscar, I don't know, Joe. It was fucking shot so well and looks so beautiful. Turns out the fucking cop knocked his daughter up and she was gonna fucking kill the kid and blame the juggalos, and fucking that doesn't happen. Everybody dies except the juggalos. They cut the baby out of the fucking mom who got goes, "Oh, this is a miracle. I guess the ceremony worked. Tee hee hee hee." And then they call themselves the Blood Wolf Pack, go to the fucking gathering, and everybody lives happily ever after. Except it's the dumbest shit fucking ever. Like, why it's it's felt like a fucking mockery. It didn't feel like, oh, this is a loving tribute to a subculture of outcasts. This is like, hey, no, let's make these people look like fucking, you know, just low life drug addict hillbillies. But hey, we'll slide in a message about, you know, be you, no matter what anybody says. Stay true to yourself and be happy. But they just make them like total dregs and stereotypes and shit, like all the fucking like worst things you've ever heard about juggalos. This is how they're portrayed in the movie. Oh, but they're just fun loving people who fucking love each other and jump in a fucking lake. This was some fucking cornball shit. It came off like a joke, like a fucking mockery, and it was fucking shit. Like, I was cringing the whole time, shaking my fucking head, and you know, if fucking like I said, if they were like portraying Zooligans and shit like this, I would fucking be pretty offended and pissed off. Like, I specifically, when we were doing the deathbed video, I had a talk and just like, hey, you know, I don't want Zooligans to be portrayed in a light. I don't want them to, you know, look like these fucking lazy pieces of shit. Cause, you know, the deathbed video, it's fucking, you know, just a guy fucking wasting his life away in his bed or whatever. And they said, no, 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 don't worry about it and all that. So, you know, that's just something I'm conscious of. And this shit was just pissing in their fucking mouths. Like, I forget how long ago, but Father Jay, he said something in some interview, like, I'm paraphrasing, but it's just like, yeah, who cares if fucking they mention juggalos or ICP and they look at it in a negative light. You know, at least they're mentioning us. That's cool. Like, when fucking you know, say Saturday Night Live or some TV show makes fun of ICP, and there's like, oh yeah, but at least we're on there. I mean, that's not cool. Like, what the fuck kind of says, oh yeah, at least they're okay, sweet. They're calling you fucking dickheads, but that's sweet because you're on fucking the mainstream, whatever. So I'm sure there'll be a bunch of juggalos who like this shit just because, you know, it is juggalo shit.
Were there any cameos or guest appearances, like say on the Hip Hop Witch or something?
No, I know the guy from Fago Lovers. It's a ICP website. He was in it for a second, and there were a couple people I recognized from Facebook. But I mean, I think they just played one ICP song. They played Miracles after they cut the baby out of the lady. This shit is so fucking dumb and ignorant, dude. God damn. Like a fucking juggalo fucking art house movies. You fucked it up. You fucked it all up. Maybe they didn't. Maybe this was just to point and laugh. I don't know. I didn't make the movie. I won't shop here again. Even though I did fucking rent it off Amazon, and if only it was easy to return fucking digital shit like it is physical shit with those motherfuckers. Yeah, this shit was fucking whack.
Well, Tom, like you, I also made an excursion to the theater, to the cinema house, as it were. Roop and I told him, hey, this movie's a Western. You think your folks would be interested in going? And he said, let me ask them. They said, yeah, they would. So took Roop's folks along. We went to an old AMC. And it's a theater I hadn't been to. And it seems like it's been there a while, you know. And, you know, it's a movie that not a lot of people were going to see. So there was... aside from us, there was 3 more people in the theater than thought would be there. You know, so a total of 4, 5, 6, 7 people, 8 people in the theater. You know, which is what I expected. I went to go see The Thicket, Tom, and this is an adaptation of a Joe R. Lansdale novel. And you know, I'm a big fan of Joe R. Lansdale's writings and stuff. And it's a Western, like I said. It is about a young guy and his sister, and their parents had recently died of the smallpox. You know, so their granddaddy comes and picks them up and say, "Hey, you're gonna come live with us in this ranch or whatever." But along the way, they come across a group of bandits led by somebody named Cutthroat Bob or Bill. I don't remember. But in the book, it's a guy. You know, in this they did a little gender swapping. And it's a Juliette Lewis playing Cutthroat Bob or Bill. I don't remember which. And she's got like scar faced and shit. You know, she looks a lot like her dad in this. So she's looking, you know, ugly and like a little scary. You know, it's a chick you would kind of like give a little wide berth to. You know, just like, you know, I'll stay away from her. So she does like a gravelly voice too. She's talking like this, you know, as Roop mentioned after the movie, she's sounding like a Sling Blade. So that gets kind of old, you know, just talking like this, Tom. I'll kill yous. A lot has been made of her performance. Like, oh, she needs an Academy Award. She was okay. She's okay. Anyway, so they kill the grandpa, kidnap the sister because she's a lesbian, Tom. You know, cut.
Wait. What kind?
Huh?
What kind?
Well, I'm talking about the Juliette Lewis, Cutthroat Bob. She's a lesbian, not the lipstick variety.
All right.
You know? She's abducting women, so that's the kind. You know, she can't woo them with her look and charming personality and voice.
So what you're saying is she's a dude.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. She is I don't know what you call them. I don't know the proper terminology. We used to say the bull dyke, but I don't think that's the vernacular anymore. Anyway, they kidnap her. This kid, like, hey, he needs to get her back. You know, he doesn't know what, you know, been raised a Christian soul all his life. He's not a violent type. You know? So he meets this gravedigger and his midget buddy. And the midget buddy, he was a badass with a rifle. Worked with old Wild Bill Hickok Circus, you know, and Annie Oakley and them. So he knows how to shoot and everything. And so he offers him all the money he has and says, "Oh, Cutthroat Bob, she's got a $10,000 bounty." Like, oh, that's a good amount of money. Okay, we'll help you out, kid. And you know, along the way, he meets a whore, and they bring the whore along, and you know, she's helping out, and then finally, Tom, they get to the thicket, you know. But at the end of the movie, they get to the thicket. Thing about the movie, about the book, is like that's a big deal. You can't go to the thicket. That's where all the fucking outlaws are. You know, you go to the thicket, you're not gonna fucking come out. Yeah, they didn't have any trouble in this movie getting through the thicket and all that, you know. So they go. There's a big confrontation. If you're a fan of Metallica, and I don't know why you would be, you know, because it's no longer 87, 88, you know. They put out maybe 5 good albums and they all went to shit. They've since had like 6 or 7 albums that suck. But James Hetfield, the singer of Metallica, is in this movie, playing a role as a guy that's deputized. He's in it, you know, he's nothing special. He's there. It's just so you can say, hey, look, there's James Hetfield. I don't know why they cast him. Read a little thing today that said this role was specifically for him, and that's why he did it. But he doesn't like acting. Fuck you, dude. Then you shouldn't have done it. All right. You know, you got fucking millions. You know, go bitch about this or that. You know, he complained about how cold it is in the trailers because they're filming up in Canada or something. Oh, fuck you, dude. Go sit in your mansion or whatever, you know, and go backstage and eat your M&Ms, whatever you fucking do.
They should have got Dave Mustaine.
Yeah. He wouldn't have complained about shit. He would have just been with his conspiracy theories and all that. But Peter Dinklage, he's really fucking good in this. This is like he was good in Game of Thrones. I didn't watch the X-Men movie that he's in. I don't know if he's good in that. He did a movie with Vin Diesel where he's a little attorney, and he's really good in that. Yeah, this is a great role for him, you know. But I'm watching and I'm thinking, man, that's a cool fucking little leather jacket that he's wearing. You know, they had to make that specifically for him. You know, like when people shop at the Big and Tall or you know the Big Fat Men's Warehouse, whatever. Like they had to specifically make him like a little hat. Well, no, because their heads are bigger, so they had to make him like a big hat, I guess, so he could have a cool looking wardrobe and everything.
Are you sure they didn't just take the jacket off of a Tiffany doll?
Possibly, or took a regular jacket and just cut it, you know, in half, you know, part off.
They just fucking got an American Girl doll.
No, if you dig westerns, this is a solid western. Will it make a list? I don't think it was that good. You know, it was good. It's a good adaptation. It ends differently from the book, but it works. You know, it works as a movie. A lot of Lansdale's humor that's in the book is taken out. You know, this is pretty straightforward, dire. You know, it's a solid western, man. You know, if you like westerns, you'll like this one. It's my number one western that I've seen this year, Tom. I'll say that. All right.
Oh shit, I forgot to mention it, but Beetlejuice will not be making a list. However, Off Ramp will. Faux show.
Okay. All right.
What a fucking embarrassing piece of shit that was. The whole time I was just like audibly. God damn, dude. At least I had that digital credit from saying, oh, yeah, ship my stuff whenever. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. And I'd always like to say like I would hope that this would translate for Joe Lansdale into more readers, more book sales, but that never works. The movie adaptations of books, it doesn't mean you're gonna sell more shit. It's what luckily, he got paid, just for the adaptation, but nobody's gonna run out and buy the book. Though they should. It's the same thing with comic book movies. Comics don't see a surge in sales after they make an Avengers movie. Nobody gives a shit about that. They'll pick up the toys and all that, but it doesn't help anything.
I never even heard of this fucking thing before. No, I'm just saying they're not promoting it.
No, they're not. They're really not. And I just heard of it because I follow, his pages, fan groups and shit. And I had to look. It's like, well, it's Dallas, right? I fucking live in Dallas. It's one of the biggest cities in the U.S. So they got to be showing it somewhere. So they were showing it in 2 theaters, and neither one of them are in the fucking city proper. Both of them are just like these little suburbs, on opposite sides of the city. So how they choose where these things go, I don't know. Like our theater up the street, they'll always be showing some Bollywood shit, always. They got like 3 movies every week that are Bollywood, So I don't know if it's a demographic, but how would they have picked a demographic for this movie?
I mean, they just see the type of people in the area and do it. Like I told you when I was over there the last time, like all I see is fucking white people and Mexicans. I went by you and I was like, God damn, diversity really does exist. Look at this shit. I couldn't believe it. So, I mean, yeah, you got a lot of, what is it? I guess Middle Easterns over there.
Yeah.
You did see that Free Palestine fucking bed sheet hanging over the, what is it, freeway?
Yeah. Yeah. But those were white people doing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Those are college kids.
They're not. They're fucking Puerto Ricans trying to pass off as fucking Palestinians.
It's easier. Probably.
You're all getting Rachel Dolezal, you hoes. Fucking pricks. Oh, shit. So, I don't know how long ago it was, a year, 2, it all kind of blends together. But you remember me talking about a movie called Tiffany the Doll?
No.
All right, well, this movie was about like a killer sex doll that was played by a real lady. And follow-up came out. I can't really say that because the director of this movie, it's one of these people who put out like 12 movies a year. So you kind of know the quality you're getting. Anyways, Joe, I watched the newly released hit motion picture FanGirl. Have you ever heard of it?
I have not.
All right, so this is a movie about a model. Her representation put out a hey, win a lunch date with me or $5,000 contest. So this lady wins it. She picks the fucking to go meet her because she's the biggest fan. Why they decided to make this lady a model and not a singer or an actress is fucking crazy because it really doesn't play in to anything else in the movie. So meanwhile, across town, this lazy bitch of a fuck, she's just a layabout, not working or anything. She's living with her friend. Her friend's going to work saying, hey, bitch, you got to get a job. I gave you all these leads and shit. Get your fucking shit out. I gave you 30 days. 30 days is up tomorrow. Pack the shit and hit the bricks. And she says, motherfucker. and fucking smashes her head in with a booze bottle while she's taking a fucking shower. And then she just starts whacking off. This whole movie is about this broad going around killing people and then whacking off, dude. I seen this. I was going through Tubi, and it's just like a broad standing there with a bloody champagne bottle with her hand down her pants. And I was like, what in the fuck? And then I watched the trailer. Yep, I'm going to watch this. So when I posted the review on Facebook with that original poster, I have never had a post getting taken down so quick. They said, oh, suggested sexual activity or some shit. And I was like, crazy, fucking crazy. So, yeah, there's some of that in the movie, not as much as there should be.
Yeah.
Like the middle's kind of bullshit. The last 5 minutes or so, it gets pretty funny again. But yeah, if there was a little more killing and whacking off, it would be up there. But it's just kind of boring. And it's not a well-made film, so I mean you can watch it and get entertainment value and shit out of that. But I would recommend watching it because it's fucking crazy as shit. I thought it was like only goofy white people shot shit over a weekend and called it a movie. I guess not. But yeah, FanGirl, check it out. I had some good laughs, but there was also some time in the middle where it was just like, oh fuck, get the whacking off and shit. But if you're having like a triple feature bad movie night, this would make an excellent addition. It's on Tubi. It's free. Get a couple beers in you, and yeah, you'll enjoy it. But you'll also be a little.
Well, last week I told you I'd rewatch Dune so I could watch Dune Part 2, and start my movies of 2024 and try to get this best of or worst of list going. So this one, it starts off where the other one concluded. It is a direct sequel, and like I told you, I get pissed off at these movies where it's one story, but it's cut in half, right? That's bullshit to me. Just fucking make a 5-hour movie, or just release them like 1 week and then the next week release the other one. Don't fucking make people. I think this one took 3 years or something in between. So yeah, I did need to revisit it, even though I know the story fairly well. So yeah, this guy, he's living with this desert tribe now, and he's learning their ways, and slowly he's fulfilling the prophecy. He is the Messiah that is spoken of in ancient texts, Tom. He's going to free them from the oppressions of the outworlders, and they're gonna take over their world again. The whole movie, well, it doesn't, but they establish that spice that's on this planet is the most sought after element or mineral in the fucking universes, and it's what powers interstellar travel, and it's the only thing that this planet's worth a shit for, but that shit's so important. And well, he has a rebellion against the guys that killed his parents, and in the first movie they kind of established that like Dave Bautista is going to be the main badass, and he's a big guy. He's an imposing figure.
I seen a picture of that dude today, and I was just like, you know what? I think I could whoop a Batista's fucking ass.
Saw that picture as well, and yes, yeah, they said
hope he's okay.
He slimmed down for this. What? No, you don't just slim down like that. This guy's got AIDS.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he's okay. Last time some shit like this happened, Chadwick Boseman died, and
yeah,
everybody took their jokes back and apologized.
Right. that's a dramatic looking change in him. So yeah, I hope he's not like sick or whatever. I don't know the guy, but you don't want that, wish that on anybody. But it's always interesting to see him in roles to where he is this big imposing motherfucker and some little guy comes in and kicks his ass. So he's got this cousin that's introduced, and this guy's the badass. This guy's the fucking fighter that our main character is going to have to fight at the end of the movie. And this guy does come off as a good villain, so that's cool. It's good when your movie has a villain that you're waiting for that confrontation. You hope it's good. And yeah, this was good. This lived up to it. The whole worm riding thing, it's just what it is. I've seen 2 other Dune movies before this, so I wasn't really impressed with this. What did piss me off, though, Tom, is that the movie doesn't end. Yes, they deal with their main bad guys here, but then all of a sudden, at the end of the book, you have it where, like, well, shit, now they control the world. I guess we got to do what they say. They control. No, in this one, they said, no, we're not going to, fuck y'all. We're not doing what you say. And all these desert people get into ships and they're flying up so they can go have some space combat with them. They're fucking desert people. The reason they won this revolution is because they knew how to, work their planet's shit. They knew how to use the environment to their benefit, and the fucking worms and everything. They're going to go into space now, Tom, and continue the fight. And that's how the movie ends. It's stupid. Like they're fucking prepping it for another sequel, which I know the book has 3 other sequels to it, but the first book ends because this guy wrote it and couldn't sell it for a long fucking time. Everybody just rejected it. And finally, an editor at Chilton's. Do you remember Chilton's? The fucking an automotive book.
Mm-hmm. No, I have some right here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like every home had a Chilton's. It's not so much anymore because of the advent of the internet and everything. But an editor there said, "Fuck yeah, we're gonna publish this book," and they lost a shitload of money on it.
I mean, what the hey, buy this book at AutoZone. No, I shop at AutoZone. I don't read, you fuck.
Yeah, he was thinking like truckers will like this book or whatever. No, they don't fucking.
No, they want a fucking movie.
Yeah, they want a stroke mag or something. And yeah, so he got fired. The book didn't make any money, and then eventually it did. It was like one of these slow word of mouth things, and once it did, then he wrote sequels. Like, well, shit, I made some money on that. Let me go ahead and write a sequel. But that first book, it wraps up. This movie doesn't. This movie just fucking like, well, shit, what's next? When's the next movie coming? And I'll watch it if it does come out. But but fuck me, man. Just you can end it and still do another sequel down the line. It was a ripoff, I think, especially since you split it up into 2 movies. It was good though, man. Like I started it was the one night I stayed up late last week. I started it at 11 and thought, I'll watch till 12. I'll go to bed. Nah, fucking the movie ends at like 2:45 in the morning, and I wasn't tired at all. It kept my interest. It's, it's a solid flick, but that ending just pissed me off, and it's just stupid. It's fucking, they're going to go fight in space, Tom. They're going to learn how to be fucking space pilots and shit all of a sudden.
Well, you do love Star Wars.
Uh-huh. They're going to use laser swords or some shit.
Fuck yeah, swords.
Yeah, they're going to force them, Ooh, my force head, Shit.
No, not really. I don't.
Hmm.
Sorry. I don't know anything about Force Head.
Got all those movies in the theater.
Oh, fuck, Joe.
Will it make a list? Again, it may make a list of everything I watched. The other 24 releases just suck. Then I'll make it by default. But I'm hoping that's not the case because it really doesn't deserve to be on a list just because of that ending.
I see old JR in the chat. He wrote Onyx the Fortuitous. He also sent me a message saying, hey, you guys should watch Onyx the Fortuitous. And I told him, hey, whatever year that came out, it was the worst movie for me
Yeah,
of that year.
I think you reviewed it last year, maybe it came out last year or something. But I remember you talking about that one because I hadn't heard anything about that when you reviewed it.
And I can say wholeheartedly that Joe will never watch this movie.
It's following now, right?
I mean, it's on Tubi, so people are seeing it now. So, but yeah, it's.
I hear more people talking about it, but when you reviewed it, I hadn't heard a single thing about that shit. I get some water.
Yeah, it's just if it's a comedy and you don't find that shit funny, there's nothing worse you can watch. I guess maybe children getting fucking beheaded or something. But a close second would be Onyx the Fortuitous. Oh, I don't know. Israeli hostage videos or Onyx the Fortuitous.
All these cartel executions.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you want that shit, just I mean, you should be able to search BOYGOB and Onyx the Fortuitous. I'm sure I tagged it in whatever fucking review we did it on. I just know that I didn't clip it and make it its own thing. Because if I just really don't like something, like Beetlejuice and Off-Road or Off-Ramp, whatever, I'm not clipping that shit. Just so people can say, oh, yeah, fuck you, whoop, whoop. All right. Oh, shit. But something that might get clipped, Joe. Old Bootleg posted that he watched a movie, and I said, man, I've been talking about that shit for a while, and I've been meaning to rewatch it. So I saw the hit motion picture Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. You ever heard of this one, Joe?
I saw it way back when it premiered on HBO. You know, it was like they would show the new movies on Friday nights or something, and I remember watching it. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was an 80s movie. It's not. It's a 90s movie. I first saw this around the time I saw Sin City, because that was the first thing I saw Mickey Rourke in. And I was just like, oh, I got to see what else this dude was in. So I saw like this and Domino around the same time. And we talked about Domino recently. It's okay.
Yeah.
So old Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. This Mickey Rourke's Harley Davidson, Don Johnson's the Marlboro Man, and they're just a couple of, cool outlaws doing things their own way. Mickey Rourke, some dickhead who rides a Harley, but for some reason he wears a jacket like a fucking idiot on a crotch rocket would wear. And old Don Johnson is dressed up like fucking Walker, Texas Ranger. He's trying to fucking pool shark some engines out of their money, and they get into a fucking squabble in a bar, and wacky antics ensue. So old Harley and the Marlboro Man, they head out to like their home bar, like their base, the bar they grew up in, or some shit. Big John Stud's there. He's arm wrestling fuckers in the back. And they get together with the multicultural ethnic group of friends they have at this bar, and the fucking owner's like, oh, you know, I love you guys like my sons, but these fuckers are raising the rent and I just don't have the money to pay for it. So old Harley, he's just like, hey, let's rob a bank. But they don't end up robbing a bank. They end up robbing an armored truck. And everything's going well until these motherfuckers who look like Mr. X or a tyrant before he transformed, they're all wearing like Kevlar dusters and shit. So they're just like, oh my God. They steal the bags, get the fuck out of there. Turns out these bags are filled with liquid crystal or some made up stupid movie drug that doesn't matter. I don't know. Maybe they thought they were going to get sued by big cocaine. So they had to make up this screwy drug. So one of the fucking Baldwins, those are his drugs, and he happens to own the bank who's gonna fucking take their bar away or whatever. So it's just these fuckers. Or no, Tom Sizemore's the bad guy. One of the Baldwins, like his number one or something. Anyways, it's just them going back and forth, shooting each other until the very end. A fucking helicopter blows the fuck out of a fucking skyscraper, and then Tom Sizemore gets kicked out of the fucking window, and they all live happily ever after, except for everyone who fucking died. It was pretty good, you know. There was violence and some fucking blood and gore in there, but you know, if it had like a little more extreme gore, and if somebody like a main character was just given an over the top wacky performance, like this shit would have been stone cold levels of awesome. It's pretty good, you know. Some wacky and wild shit does happen, and it is all just, you know, entertaining, funny bullshit. But if it just had that little bit more, I liked it. It's better than I remember, but you know, once you see Stone Cold, it's like you got to come with some shit, dog. I saw Stone Cold, motherfucker.
And this came out around the same time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
early 90s.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I remember liking watching it when I saw it. I haven't seen it since, but you know, it was definitely one of those tough guy dick slinging movies. You know, it's like, you know, they're fighting and talking a lot of shit while they're fighting stuff that are supposed to be funny that kind of come off as corny, but it works. You know, it works for that kind of movie.
I mean, you're watching shit called Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. You
So
know,
as I remember it, but I didn't remember the plot at all until you until you were, you know, recapping it there.
Joe, I also didn't remember a single fucking thing that happened in this movie until I rewatched it. And the only thing I remember is just the fucking helicopter flying up with the fucking mounted machine gun just blowing the fuck out of the skyscraper. This would recommend there, Joe.
All right.
Would recommend.
I'll rewatch that at some point.
You should. It's good stuff. Hot stuff.
All right.
Let me take a sip of this guy and see what else I got.
All right. I watched a series on Apple Plus called Presumed Innocent, and it's also based on a book that I like a lot from Scott Turow. And they had made a movie of this in the 80s with Harrison Ford, and that movie's okay, you know? But that book is outstanding. This mini series, or whatever the fuck they call it now, is not. This kind of sucks. Jake Gyllenhaal is the main guy. He's an attorney that's arrested for the murder of his lover, his secret lover, you know, and it's just dumb. Like the characters make very, very idiotic decisions and do really stupid shit that you would think like people that work for the fucking city would not make, you know, because they know the ramifications of it. It's just, it's all fucking unbelievable, you know, and you don't like anybody in it. In the original movie, at least they make, you know, this guy's sympathetic. You know he's been charged with a crime he didn't commit. In this one, they're trying to throw out this, well, did he do it? Or maybe this guy did it. Well, this person had a reason to do it too, and it just comes off shitty. Not gonna talk much more about it because don't fucking watch it. That's what I would say.
Oh, shit. I watched a movie called Kung Fu and Titties. Why? Because it was called Kung Fu and Titties, so I had to say, well, what the fuck is this? Oh, it's just another backyard movie.
Mm.
However, it's not your average backyard movie. No, no, no. It's not directed by a black lady like FanGirl. This was directed by this was made and starring middle-aged to over the hill white guys. Like, this is the kind of shit you got to make in your 20s. You know, you don't fucking get all your 50-year-old friends together and make this fucking stupid shit. It's really just a bunch of fucking, you know, older guys slap fighting while, you know, the type of ladies who would be in a movie like this topless are in this movie topless. I mean, there's a good variety of breasts in the movie, but with the internet, who gives a fuck? There was a couple funny things in it, but for the most part, I just didn't care. I just didn't care, Joe.
I remember seeing now the post you made about it with the movie poster, and I saw what's his name, Bronson Pinchot, or the guy that was in, what the fuck was the name of the show? He was Balky,
Yeah.
a sitcom that ran for a number of years. Perfect Strangers is what it was called, I think.
Yeah, maybe he was a friend of someone. I think he plays the Indian, and he was just sitting in someone's backyard in a fucking Halloween Indian costume, not really doing anything. It really is a who gives a fuck movie. A couple tee-hees, but it's just like, you can't be a fucking middle-aged guy making these kind of movies, dude. It's embarrassing.
Is this a 2024 movie?
I don't think so.
Okay.
If it is, that's real embarrassing.
Well, I was thinking maybe that was his excuse for watching this, you know.
No, just, you know, flipping through fucking Hey, that bitch is whacking off on this Tubi poster. What else is there? Yeah, I figure white karate guy movie. So fucking whatever. Oh, I will say this though. There's a part where this fucking topless Asian broad gets stabbed in the head, and then she keeps getting stabbed in the head, and it's funny as shit because it just all sucks. It's just one of those party store retractable knives, and she's trying to act, and the guy who's doing it's trying to act, and it's all pretty terrific. Yep.
All right.
Oh, I think that's fucking all I got. Unless you want to talk about the hit motion picture Off Ramp some more. That fucking masterpiece.
Okay.
All right, Joe. This is you.
Continuing our foray into the films of Eric Roberts, we're reviewing 2001's Raptor. And again, I didn't do any research in this movie. And had I done so, I probably wouldn't have picked it. So again, I fucked up on this, but Eric is in it. and is the star of this film. And it is directed by Jim Wynorski, who
Went under a different name, I guess, for the fucking.
the director of Munchie 2. And one thing that Wynorski always does is he brings the bimbos along that have been in all his other movies. Women that'll take their clothes off, that I don't know, they look sort of attractive, but not really. They look kind of odd. So in this one, Eric Roberts is a sheriff of a small town, and there's been some animal attacks, and we see the first attack right off the bat. It's a little raptor puppet, and
Is it?
I don't know.
I mean, the movie's called Raptor, but raptors are never mentioned in this movie. But Tyrannosaurus Rexes are mentioned a whole bunch of times.
Yeah. Well, okay, so let me say this. This movie is an unofficial fourth entry into the Carnosaur series of movies. And
Spoiler alert, it's probably the best Carnosaur movie.
if you haven't seen any of the Carnosaur movies, you will when you watch this movie, because it uses footage from those movies. A lot of the dinosaur shit is from those movies.
Like, I was watching this and I was like, wait a goddamn minute. I was like, it is a Roger Corman movie, so that figures. All right. Yep, it probably is.
Yeah, so as the opening credits are rolling, music by James Horner, and I thought, what the fuck? In 2001, James Horner does big shit, and I'm thinking, did he owe Corman a favor from way back then? Because I know he did the music for Humanoids from the Deep. So I read a little and hey, you know what music this is, Tom? It's
do.
Humanoids from the Deep. Oh, so another Corman trick there, reusing shit. Yeah, okay, so this Carnosaur, this puppet Carnosaur, has escaped from a facility where a doctor, a mad scientist type named Dr. Hyde, is cloning dinosaurs. How's he doing this? They don't explain. They don't need to. He's got
Well, no,
dinosaurs.
he found this fucking mosquito in a ball of ember, you see.
Yeah.
Life finds a way. You fuck.
So, the local cops, they don't know. They think it might be a grizzly because they're in the desert, you see. That's where grizzlies usually hang out. And he calls in his buddy that's an animal control bimbo. It's this, chick with a rack on her and kind of a weird face. She's in a lot of Wynorski's movies. And this cop can't pay his bills. He's got a daughter that's another bimbo that's in a lot of Wynorski movies that takes her clothes off. And she does in this movie. And that's all she does. She's in a coma for kind of the rest of the movie.
Let me say something right here while I remember it, because this is when I noticed it. The editing in this movie is fucked. We meet this secretary, and it's just like, is this his daughter? Is it just, an employee that he's concerned about? What's going on here? You just see her in the office that looks like it's daylight, and then the next fucking scene, her top's popped out in the back of a truck in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It's just like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck kind of editing is this shit? You don't cut from this, Eric Roberts delivering his lines to this secondary character and just cut to her shit. You cut to wherever the fuck he was going, and then you go back to her saying, oh, bye, I'm fucking leaving for the night. It's time for me to go home now. And hey, baby, I'm coming to meet you or whatever. You need a couple things in there to transition to, but I mean, that might be the least of this movie's problems.
Yeah, it wasn't established to me that she was his daughter until she's in the hospital, until somebody makes a call. Hey, your daughter's all fucked up. Yeah, so she's in a coma because she's been traumatized by this. Not that her car went over a fucking bridge and maybe she has some bones broken. No, she's just in a coma with trauma. Um, yeah, he's trying to investigate the doctor, but that doesn't go anywhere. So we get the military to come in because this plot line with Eric Roberts wasn't going anywhere. Let's introduce some soldiers and shit. And there's one soldier in here that has some funny lines, some shit that made me laugh, but they're all fucking stupid too. Like every character in this movie is just dumb as shit. Uh, yeah, the dinosaur, when they have a scene with a dinosaur, there's never any consistency to the size of the dinosaur. It's like towering over like a fucking building at one moment, and then it's like the same size as a person.
I mean, even the baby dinosaurs, those fluctuated in size from scene.
Mhm.
Like it's set up on the first scene. Oh, yeah, the dinosaurs, maybe around the same size as a German Shepherd
Yeah.
or something like that. But then in another scene, it's like 5 feet tall. In another scene, it's fucking 25 feet tall. It's it's weird. Okay. No, I'll get to that after you
No,
talk about the movie and
the army comes in and Eric Roberts is there like trapped in the place too. And so eventually it's Eric Roberts has to go mano a mano with the last Carnosaur, the biggest one. And guns, I guess, that worked on all the other Carnosaurs doesn't work on this last one. So he has to fight it with a forklift or something. Well, even that, like he's in a weird little forklift at first, and then it's like a fucking little bulldozer. So, like,
then it's a little toy model.
yeah, I didn't see him switch from one vehicle to the next, but it's clearly a different vehicle when he pushes the thing into the fucking elevator shaft or whatever the fuck. Yeah, I don't know. If you're excited by this review, then you might be excited by this movie. But this review is as lackluster as the movie is. The movie is just really, really bad. There's not a lot of nudity for a Wynorski film, more than Munchie or Munchie 2. Yes. Yeah.
Well, Joe, I thought this movie was all right.
But hold on. So, again, at the beginning, they also introduced a subplot of this serial killer that escaped from prison, and he's coming to the town.
Oh, never mind. We got him.
Yeah, no, they caught him. They get a phone call. We caught him. Okay.
Yep.
That went nowhere.
So, this is nothing new. This is a movie you've seen fucking dozens of times if you watch creature features. Could be even with a dinosaur in it. Maybe it's a different monster, but I'm sure you've seen this shit with some kind of lizard creature or dinosaur in it. Very simple plot. Oh, there's a monster roaming around the town eating people, and we gotta go to the fucking science facility and stop this shit. That's it. I was expecting like a sci-fi channel movie. It wasn't. There was actual like prop dinosaurs and puppet dinosaurs, and there was more blood and gore than I expected for sure. So, I mean, if you're a fan of monster movies and creature features, check it out. It's nothing new, but I mean, it's a very standard, average creature movie. You could be like, oh, yeah, I've seen worse. I've seen better, but it was okay. That puppet eating the fuckers in the Jeep was kind of cool. Didn't expect the movie to start out with that. But nothing spectacular, nothing you haven't seen before. It's just like, oh yeah, stereotypical creature movie. Got it.
Well, next week we're going to wrap up our Eric Roberts extravaganza with First Dog.
First Dog?
That's the name of it. I can't find my list, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
Is this like Jesus's dog or some shit?
President's Dog.
So let me ask you this there, Joe. Is he the voice of the dog or the president?
He's the president.
Oh shit, who's the voice of the dog?
I don't know if it's one of these talking dog movies or not. We'll see. I've never seen it, Tom. Just like I hadn't seen Carnosaur 4 or the other one with the, directed by the pedophile.
No, I can't. I don't know. That was just a joke. I don't
Matter.
I just didn't care for that movie at all. I haven't disliked a movie that much since Onyx the Fortuitous Joe. That's all right. JR's a good kid. Fucking prick. Let's fucking swing into another amazing issue of Ramrod.
Marvel team up. He fights I don't know. He meets Iron Man and they fight some guy with magma powers or something. Spectacular Spider-Man. I didn't have a chance to read. I'll read it tomorrow. Amazing Spider-Man though. What is it?
121.
21?
No, 221.
221.
Hey, spoiler alert. Next week's issue 222. If you're into numerology, you know what that's about. Get your necklaces out, dog.
Yeah. I just read this shit and I forgot it.
Spider-Man, he's romping around and Ramrod's out there like, hey, make me a potion. I'm at the college now. Ooh, Spider-Man gets them, and they all live happily ever after.
Okay, so this one, Peter Dinklage goes and performs, right?
Oh, yeah, Lonesome Pincus is doing his fucking, and everyone's getting shimmed up on fucking mule juice at the bar that's making them go all wacky.
Yeah, that's it. There's nothing to this issue again.
Except we get Lonesome Pincus, and that's always funny.
Spider-Man got this far and didn't get canceled. I have no idea because people were reading this and enjoying it. Fuck.
They sure were, Joe. They made movies based on this, you see.
TV shows.
In Japan.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's fucking weird ending this shit on Spider-Man, dude.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. We need something that we can
transition, yeah.
All right, so let's see what's up in these comments, and then we'll fucking go jump in a lake, or we'll go take the off ramp. God damn, dude. Hello, Mr. Jake. Hello, Mr. Zooligan Raider. Hello, Jesse. Hello, James. What a great movie. Hordecast. Onyx the Fortuitous again. God damn it. Well, I'm just going to assume that you guys didn't have any questions. Where the fuck? Mr. Roops here. Mitch. Kyle. I think we shouted out everybody and nobody gives a fuck about questions. That's all right. We just got till the end of the year and then we can all fuck off. All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate that shit. DWNProductions.net, FastCustomShirts.com. Do you have anything, Joe?
No, thanks for tuning in, watching, whatever. Hit like, share the shit with somebody you think would enjoy this bullshit. And yeah, that's it.
We would appreciate it. And hopefully we will have the pleasure of talking at you next week. Boy God.